What is up, guys? It's Duncan Does Nuts. I wanted to take a little bit of time to reminisce about the past 5 years of Warzone before the Verdansk re-release in the next couple of days on April 3rd. As of right now, we have 5 days until Verdansk is re-released. I was just kind of thinking over this time and how my life has changed during these times, and just how truly great Warzone has been within my life. There's been a lot of bad times within Warzone and a lot of bad times and hard times within my own life throughout this time that I played Warzone. But what I will say is, before coming back to gaming, um, essentially I've been a lifelong gamer, but I had given up gaming to focus on my family's business, and I believe that was for about a 2-year span. I gave up just about any of the leisurely activities that I normally did um, to help out the family company and help build the family business. But I started to notice I was depressed and miserable in certain ways and aspects, and I felt like I didn't have a whole lot aside from work that I did. And so I returned to gaming. And one of the people that I can credit that to was or is my best friend, Xavier. A lot of you know him as Ambriel. He's really the reason that I stepped my feet back into gaming. I mean, prior to that, I did go into World of Warcraft and was top 25 in the world for my class and spec. But at least in regards to like a competitive player versus player game, Warzone was my step back into it. And honestly, just being fully transparent, Warzone saved my life. And I didn't realize it initially.
Oh my god.
And you know, throughout this time that I've played Warzone, there's been a lot of big changes in my life. There's been a lot of big moments. There's been good and bad and ups and downs. But the one thing that was reliable throughout all of it is that regardless of if I had a good or bad day or good or bad week or was dealing with, you know, the various things that life throws at you, I was able to start up my game and have an escape and have, you know, a way to enjoy my day if it was bad, or a way to make my day better if it was already good. Now, when I say that Warzone saved my life, a lot of people, you know, they embellish on that term. I don't embellish on that term in this regard.
He's one.
I've been pretty silent and pretty non-expressive over a big event that happened quite a few years ago now regarding, not necessarily regarding Warzone, but because of the Warzone community and all the good people that I had around me. Essentially my, and I won't go into too in depth here, but in my prior relationship, it was very abusive. I didn't realize that at the time, but I was in a very abusive relationship. I was being abused, and you know, most of it was mental and psychological. But there was some physicalities too, and you know, one of the big reasons that I got away from that relationship was because of the fact that someone, and I still to this day have no idea who, had somehow found some information and sent it to me, and that information led to me cutting ties, and it was one of the best things that could have happened in my life. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you still watch my content. I don't know if you're out there lurking, but I appreciate you more than you know. It was a hard thing and a hard pill to swallow at the time, but my life has gotten drastically better since then. I mean, I met the woman of my dreams, who is now my wife. I've had a child who's now a year old. And throughout all of this, Warzone's been there. And this community and the people that hang out with me and the fellow streamers and gamers and people that just like to vibe and have a good time have been there for me, much like I've been there for all of you guys. You know, if you're going through a hard time, I fully am understanding. And you know, this is an open place. My stream is an open place to communicate and ask questions and conversate about whatever it may be, whether it's something funny or a hard topic to bring up. It's been a very interesting journey. When I first started out, my buddy Xavier Ambriel messaged me about Warzone and was telling me about it and how he really enjoyed it. The funny part about that is that he never really played shooter games. I can never really get him into shooter games. He wasn't really into gaming in general when we were younger, but it wasn't until Warzone and with the pandemic, which was also a massive thing for everybody, big changes in everyone's lives, that he really jumped into gaming. And I joined in, you know, and being able to spend time with my best friend when we couldn't see each other physically was a huge plus, you know. And that was, I'm assuming, how it was for a lot of people during the pandemic. Ultimately, he's what got me into Warzone, and I know I've said this already, but you know, there's been a lot of fun times, a lot of great moments, a lot of really funny moments, great plays, amazing snipes, and progression within the game, but also progression within life. And one of the best things that I have is these collections of clips and funny moments and bloopers and cool plays and cool shots and all this time spent with, you know, the people that mean a lot to me. A lot of these people have become really good friends that I've never physically met. I mean, one of them, for example, Lamb Choppin'. I mean, never fully met in person, even though we live in the same state, and eventually got to a point where I could meet him in person. And you know, spending years gaming together and knowing each other, and it's the same way I feel with Parsnip. Like, these are my boys. Like, this is the squad. You know, it's been a crazy past 5 years, man. I mean, we had a pandemic. We've had, you know, I've had all sorts of things going on in my life, and I'm sure many of you have as well. Of course, it's been 5 years. But just being able to wind down after a day and load up some Warzone, and the boys are messaging you, or maybe the boys don't message you, or, you know, you hop on and they hop in. Like, it's been a huge turning point to my mental state. It's something that I can rely on. Warzone's always going to be there, or gaming is always going to be there. And whether it's on Warzone or on a different game, you know, there's always a community of people willing to support each other and willing to help each other out and willing to just be there for one another. Yeah, so I wanted to make this as a way to go over kind of a lot of the different Warzone clips I had from Verdansk. I have a whole collection of all of my clips on my hard drive throughout the time that I've been streaming. But yeah, initially we started on a PlayStation 4, original first generation PlayStation 4, probably 30 FPS. And eventually we grew into buying my first gaming PC and gaming monitor and getting a whole setup and getting the streaming setup better and nice camera and a microphone and making all sorts of changes to the overlay, paying someone to make a Discord. I mean, any penny that I've gotten from anyone in the community has all gone right back into the setup, and into the stream. You know, I've never really taken a cent of that for myself. Always just gone right back into investing into this wonderful hobby, you know, and passion. And you know, there's been a lot of ups and downs. I've said that a lot this past couple of weeks. Lots of ups and downs throughout the streaming, throughout my time streaming, where, you know, initially I never thought anyone would watch me. Again, I lost 6 years of content, so I thought to myself, well, how can I make sure that that doesn't happen again? And the easiest way was to stream and have the content just be captured. Well, that's exactly what I did, and when it started out, I didn't expect any viewership, if I'm being truly honest. But eventually, into say Warzone 1 Caldera era, when I would start my stream, there'd be, you know, 40, 50, 60 people waiting for me to game and to play, and that was the up, you know, that was the up. And throughout that, throughout my streaming, there's been various points like that where, you know, sometimes I start my stream, especially at the start, it's just me watching myself. That's it. And throughout posting content on TikTok and YouTube and Twitter, and back in the day, Facebook and Instagram, which I'm now banned from, unfortunately. So I've refused to make new accounts for Dunkin' Does Nuts on those platforms, due to that false ban. You know, we've grown a lot of people, and now fast forward to now, some of these people, they no longer game. The only game they played was Warzone. They got tired of the hacking situation. Maybe a lot of things started to happen in their lives. I know a lot of people were, at least in Warzone 1, you know, younger, maybe still in school, and so progressing through their lives, maybe not having time for gaming or watching on Twitch or what have you. And so, you know, nowadays the viewership's a lot less than where it was back in Warzone 1 Caldera. But again, I've never really had any expectations. You know, I appreciate each and every second that a person comes into my stream, even if they don't say anything, even if they just pop in for a moment. If they pop in and say hi and they're out, that's, you know, that's amazing. That fact that, you know, there's a lot of people that think like, oh, well, you know, oh, I only have 5-10 viewers. Well, that's 5 to 10 people. If you put that into perspective, 5 to 10 people standing and watching you game is an insane feat, you know, that they enjoy to spend that time with you is that's something really big, really huge. And you know, whether it be 2, 3, 4 people or 50, 60, 100, you know, thousands, you know, there's been definitely times where I've been raided by multiple people throughout the Warzone community, even Las Vegas VP. My first really large raid was 1,100 viewers from Las Vegas VP. You know, I've also been raided by Aiden, and various other Warzone content creators and streamers, for thousands of viewers, you know, and they're sharing their communities with me, and I mean, that's just insane. Honestly, it's insane to me, to be someone that had no expectations and is just doing this for fun. And, you know, I would be doing this anyway. I'd be hopping on and enjoying my time and playing with my buddies and you know, really just taking that escapism, and to have people that want to share in these moments and find entertainment and are willing to be engaging with my stream or my content is more than I could ever ask for. But yeah, I it's still just crazy to me. Like, there's been been a lot of crazy moments, you know, and when I go back and I look at some of these clips and I look at back when I was playing on my PlayStation 4 at, you know, low FPS and just getting on with the boys, you know, I was in at least what I thought was a good place in my life.
I don't know.
But
It sounded like I was getting sniped at.
it was a little bit of, you know, some hiccups there and some things that occurred that
Fuck, dude, where did he come from?
made it apparent that I wasn't. And now I've gotten to a way better point, and I've had some major life milestones. I mean, here in, 6 days after Verdansk comes out, I'm going to be turning 30. A lot of people will claim, you know, I'm in UNC status, which, I mean, I'm not going to deny. You know, I'm a father now. My baby and my wife are my #1 priorities. I got to put them first before anything. And, you know, although I would love and I'm going to try to put as much time into Warzone as I can, you know, there's a possibility that I'm not going to be, and it's highly likely I'm not going to be able to put as much time in as I would have previously, you know, without the responsibilities of a baby and with the situations that I was in before. There was plenty of days and weeks where I would sleep maybe 2 hours a day just to play as much as I could. You know, from the moment I had stopped working in the day, I would load up the game and play until I had to work the next day, and I would just continuously do that over and over and over again because I truly loved the game so much, and I loved and I still do love the game so much. But back then during the pandemic, everyone else was available and everyone else had free time, whereas like for me, not really a whole lot changed. I already worked from home. I already kind of lived the quarantine lifestyle, I guess you could say, where I don't go out much. I just kind of, I'm in my own space and I enjoy my own space, and yeah, so really it just made it more convenient for me to have more people available to play and grind and get on at various times. You know, nowadays everyone's kind of fallen back into their lifestyles, especially post COVID, post pandemic, and so a lot of people have given up Warzone, given up gaming, and don't really have any time for it anymore, which is unfortunate. But hopefully we see the return of a lot of people with Verdansk coming back, and see some old faces. You know, I would really like to see some of the boys that we ran Verdansk with way back in the day, when we were just little bots running around not knowing what was what, and see how things go and what kind of funny moments we can have amongst each other. But yeah, ultimately I think I'm happy and I'm blessed, man. My life is made a complete turnaround. You know, I was looking through some of these clips and thinking about where I was mentally, and a lot of the times I was just getting on to not be thinking about any of it, and you know, as a streamer and as someone that has people's eyeballs on you, you don't necessarily want to bring up negative topics on stream a whole lot, because a lot of people, you know, they're there for the same reasons that you're on the game. They're there for escapism. They're there to, you know, not think about the tough concepts and tough topics and things like that. And so a lot of the times I just kept things bottled up, and it's just crazy to look back on. You know, it's I can go back to a clip from 5 years ago and I'm in a different place, completely different place entirely, and I can visually remember and experience kind of what I was going through at the time, even whilst, you know, dropping a Warzone 1 world record, or you know, just having some crazy shots or whatever within a game. Yeah, I've truly enjoyed this experience. I really hope they do well with Verdansk. That's one of the main takeaways I have is that, you know, it is a game at the end of the day. It's for enjoyment, it's for fun. Unfortunately for me, one of the main ways I have fun is just constant improvement and highly competitive in nature. And
I have no guns.
really only have fun gaming when I'm doing well and when I'm improving. And when I'm in a competitive setting or player versus player setting. Which can be unfortunate. You know, there's some people that can just hop on and they have fun not knowing anything and not doing well. But I'm just not one. I'm not one of those. I gotta do very well. I gotta try my hardest. I gotta learn everything. I gotta consume all the information.
Oh, that was my last bullet, dude.
But, you know, to each their own. And it's definitely gotten me to achieve certain things throughout my time in Warzone as well. You know, I had, by the end of Caldera, of course, you know, this is after Warzone 2 was released, I had the most games played on Caldera, also had the most time played on Caldera, also had, technically the solos world record, even though it was in an LTM via champion of Caldera, with 51 kills, also had a 51 kill world record on Fortune's Keep in solos, and then going into, you know, into Warzone 2, also dropped a world record there for solo quads. It was also an LTM, but even so, it was a Resurgence LTM for the big map. I may also, for Warzone 3, Urzikstan, I may also have a world record there in the Mutant LTM with 47 solo quads. I really haven't heard or hadn't heard during the time of really any of the sweaty people playing that mode and getting high kills, but I didn't claim that one just because I wasn't certain, and there's really no way to track the stats anymore. But yeah, man, it's been a ride, and I'm excited to see how it moves forward from here. You know, with me being a dad and my baby growing, and you know, a lot going on in life, and you know, constantly improving, constantly making things better. And of course, my time on the game is not going to be as much as I would like it to be, because truthfully, if I could do this 24/7, I would. You know, and looking back, there has been some months where I was like, man, who knows, you know, stream technically could pay my bills this month, you know. There's been a couple months like that where it's like, if I were to take the money from stream, I could pay my rent, you know, which is mind-boggling at the time. Now it's not like that. It's not like that at all right now. But
It was his mask.
but you know, who knows, man. And whether it's, you know, one viewer and one penny a month, or 1,000 viewers and thousands of dollars a month, I'm happy. I'm doing what I want, and I'm doing this for me. And you know, if you guys want to be along for the ride, if you guys want to vibe with me, if you guys want to watch me do some cool stuff, watch me do some dumb stuff, watch me say some dumb things, watch me just hang out with the boys and shoot the shit, you know, and just, I don't know, man, just enjoy ourselves. And I appreciate that so much, man, more than you guys know. I appreciate you going and watching my clips. I appreciate you coming into the stream saying hey, even if, you know, you don't watch Warzone. I have plenty of people that don't even watch Warzone, they don't even play Warzone, they just like the vibes and they come and hang out, and that's insane to me, because again, 5 years ago I started this with the thought that I was just doing it with, you know, the intention of being able to watch myself, and that's it. I didn't think that anyone would find my stream. I didn't think anyone would find my content. I just wanted to be able to capture these moments and look back on them. And one of the main reasons I wanted to do that was, you know, as a kid, I truly felt that gaming was the breakthrough for me that started to make things click in my head. I was brought, you know, into games at a very young age, and I think that's because they saw that I gravitated toward them. And by they, I mean my family and, you know, my dad. Well, you know, it's just been a massive part of my life. And I was 9 or 10 years old when I first started playing World of Warcraft. You know, I was playing games before that point too on, you know, Nintendo 64 and PlayStation and things like that. But World of Warcraft really was the starter for me. That was the first game I really dove into head first, and I often tell people that World of Warcraft, playing through World of Warcraft as a kid, taught me more, I feel like, than I learned in school. Vocabulary and communicating with people. It made me way more comfortable talking to people because on a day-to-day basis I had to talk to people all the time on World of Warcraft. Made my typing better. I learned a lot of computer skills. Learned how to fix my computer or my dad's computer, whoever it was, when it wasn't working. You know, I learned the intricacies of humans. I learned that there's bad people out there. I learned that there's rude people that will try to pull one over on you. I learned that there's people that will just try to hurt your feelings. You know, I was a little kid and there was grown men, grown adults harassing me. I mean, I've told the story on stream multiple times, but I think I was about 11 or 12 years old, just starting into raiding and or maybe 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there, just starting into raiding. And you know, they wanted you to talk for the raids, and so I wanted to make sure that I had that ability. I didn't want to talk because I'm a kid. Everyone else I already knew was grown people. There was one specific person within that guild that was harassing me, and he eventually got kicked from the guild. But just about every single day that I would log in, this person would try to find a way to whisper me, whether it be on you know, on his primary account, which I eventually blocked, which he can no longer whisper me on. He would make other accounts to then continue to harass me. He would send me mail in game. I mean, it was insane to think about. It's insane to think about now, but to deal with that as a little kid and to understand that there's these damaged humans out there that will try those things and try to put you down, and to continuously, you know, go through that, it definitely makes your skin tough. You know, you can deal with things a little bit better. You know, nowadays I don't let people say shit to me. You're not gonna push me around. You're not gonna talk to me sideways. And if I feel that you are, I'm gonna put you in your place. It's as simple as that. And that's just how I am as a person now. And I think that, you know, that's something that developed from gaming. I went from a very shy, nervous, anxious kid to a man, you know, and a man that had to deal with a lot of shit, you know, not just in gaming, but within life as well. You know, I haven't been spoon-fed everything, I guess you could say, but, and I'm not saying everything's bad either. Like in life, there's goods and bads, and ultimately, you know, everything just makes you who you are. And I'm truly just so thankful for everything. And I know I've said this multiple times now, but I'm really just kind of ranting at this point. But yeah, I'm thinking Verdansk will be good, man. I'm thinking it'll be real good, and hopefully, you know, my main thing is that the anti-cheat is working, that it doesn't have any issues, that the hackers aren't a big problem, and if that's the case, then we might just have something fantastic on our hands. That's my primary gripe with Call of Duty and Call of Duty Warzone, is that people are cheating, a lot more people than people realize and people think, you know. And I mean, there's people that are cheating on console, there's people that are cheating on PC, there's people that are spoofing their PCs to look like consoles, there's people that are hiding their aimbot, soft aim, or whatever you want to call it. There's people that are hiding walls. I mean, if you just go through TikTok and scroll for 5 minutes and have anything Warzone related in your For You page, you'll see numerous people live streaming on TikTok to, well, for one, they're rage hacking, cheating, showing all their cheats on stream, but they're marketing that they are selling cheats. And a lot of people don't know this, but many of them, if you just join their Discord server, you get walls for free. There's so many people that are playing this game that are utilizing free wall hacks from these Discord servers, or free trials of aimbot from these Discord servers. And you know, that's how these people are making money. So you can't really blame them. You know, some of them, it's their livelihood, and that's how they're making a living or making some side income. Truthfully, you just have to go back to blaming the creators of the game. It shouldn't be possible for people to cheat in a player versus player online video game. You know, if someone wants to use some cheats in Grand Theft Auto single player to remove their stars, I don't see any problem with that. If someone wants to hit up Mario and have infinite lives, I don't see any issues with that. Play the game how you're going to play the game as a single player game, no problems. But if you're playing a player versus player game where you're actively engaging and having an unfair advantage against other people that you're going against that don't have that advantage, I mean, you're scum. You're scum. That's as simple as it is. I mean, it's just, there's no integrity in it. I mean, back when I was younger, I specifically remember, like, if someone was better than you at something, you tried to figure out how you could get better, and you gave them credit, you know, and you wanted to be more like that. You wanted to figure out how you could do that. Nowadays, I mean, and not trying to be cocky or anything, you know, I'm definitely not as good as I was, not as good as I once was, excuse me. I don't have any world records on this version of Warzone. You know, I've kind of, especially with having a baby and the game being in the state that it was in, I've kind of taken a step back. Definitely the past few days I've been ramping back up on Warzone with the excitement from Verdansk, but even with that said, I'm still within the top 1%, maybe even the top 1% of the 1% of the game of all of Call of Duty Warzone. And so it's really easy for me to identify people that are cheating, and the people around my skill level and the people that are better than me, it's even easier for them. And there's a lot of people out there that are cheating, man. A lot of closeted cheaters, and that's the biggest issue with the game, truthfully. 100%. In my opinion, if they just implemented something like Marvel Rivals, where there's an anti-cheat running in the background, yes, there's still people cheating on Marvel Rivals. Yes, there's people gonna be, I mean, they're gonna be cheating on everything, man. There's always gonna be someone out there that's scummy enough to try to figure out how they can cheat on a video game, even when there's an anti-cheat. Try to figure out ways around it. It's always going to happen, but the barrier of entry should be that it's very difficult, and even if you succeed, it's going to be difficult for re-entry, and that's just not how it's been for Call of Duty Warzone forever. You know, some people are still cheating to this day on their day one accounts that have never been banned, never been shadow banned, never been caught, and you know, maybe they're only running walls. Maybe they don't have an aimbot, you know, but I really hope we see the anti-cheat advance and we see that number go down significantly. I'd really like to stop running into cheaters every single game, or every other game, and get to a point where everyone can enjoy it. You know, another big gripe I have about this game is skill-based matchmaking. Back in Warzone 1, the skill-based matchmaking was so lax. You kind of just got in the lobby with whoever queued up at the same time. There could be some sweaty guys, there can be some bots, you know, there can be various skill levels. And by bots, I don't mean literal bots. There's no AI in Call of Duty Warzone unless you play boot camp. But now it's gotten to a point where the skill-based matchmaking is so overtuned that I worry about, say, we get to Verdansk and some of our buddies that haven't played the game in 3 years come back and they try to play with us, try to play with me. That could be a really bad time for them, because that skill-based matchmaking is so overtuned that there's a high likelihood that just them queuing up with me, we're going to get sweaty lobbies, we're going to get streamers, we're going to get people that are trying really hard. And when these guys are coming back to the game, they need to have grace, you know, and they need to have the ability to feel like they can hold their own in gunfights, and that they can I don't know, have a shot, you know, because otherwise they're going to come back to the game, die to a cheater or die to someone that's sweating like crazy, and probably uninstall and never touch it again. But if they come back and they truly enjoy it and have a good time, there's a high likelihood they stick around. And I think that's important. I think at the end of the day, me and a lot of the people that complain, quote unquote, about the game are just passionate about it, and they want it to be good, because for a lot of us this game has done so many great things, you know, and in the various moments we've had with the boys, the amazing shots, great plays, clutch up moments, wins, you know, bloopers, losses, you name it. Like it's the time and the moments that truly matter. And we just want it to be good, man. We just want it to be good so that we could all enjoy it and have that escape, you know. But yeah, so ultimately I just made this video because I wanted to showcase a lot of the Verdansk clips. There's definitely been a lot of information and a lot of yapping going on in here. But yeah, man, I'll definitely be on some Verdansk, and I look forward to seeing all you guys there. We'll be streaming on Twitch, on YouTube, and TikTok potentially. They keep banning me. I don't know why. People keep reporting my lives, so maybe not TikTok. But we've also started streaming on Kick as well. So yeah, make sure to check me out. We'll be grinding Verdansk starting April 3rd, I believe. And yeah, look forward to seeing you guys there. Appreciate you. Take it easy. I hope to see you guys in the next one.